Today is day 3 of my 21-day brain detox, and I was reading a little bit of this book, and I always like to revisit the introduction. I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes like every single day looks the same. The monotony of every day looking the same drives me insane sometimes. You know, cooking, the cleaning, the washing, and taking care of the kids, and folding the clothes, and homeschooling, and reading, and just the like every day looking the same. It kind of gives me a sensation of like boredom. And a couple weeks back, I was having a hard time with getting up from bed because I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what's gonna happen today. I'm gonna cook breakfast, I'm gonna be with the kids, I'm gonna homeschool, then wash some clothes, then cook lunch, and then dinner, take the kids to their activities. And there is no element of surprise or being spontaneous and doing something out of the ordinary. And it made me realize that I need more hobbies. If this is you, go ahead and pick up a hobby. Yes, I love to read, and I try to find time to read, but also aside from that, maybe like an artistic hobby, maybe painting, maybe it's watercolor, like painting with watercolors. Maybe it's, for me, I also like painting wall murals, and it's something that I really enjoy. And I'm actually painting my home office. I'm painting a mural, and I love doing that because I put on some music and it just gives me a break from my every single day and what it looks like. So picking up hobby is so important. And right now I just picked up a new hobby also, which is going to the gym. Today I was not able to make the gym at 6 a.m. but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go later on because I really need it especially during this time, my 21 days of my brain detox. I really feel that when I move my body, the endorphins, and just it makes me feel alive. That's another thing you can do. If you're stuck in this like place of just complete boredom, go ahead and go for a walk, go for a jog, move your body. So I wanted to read something to you that helped me out a lot, and it's something that I like to revisit from this book, and it's in the intro. It's in the introduction, and I love to reread this because I believe that these truths are ones that we have to like engrave into like the deepest, most intimate parts of who we are, because they're so important. Let me go ahead and read them to you. So here we go. Happiness comes from within, and success follows, not the other way around. You can learn how to learn and deepen your intellect. You can overcome those learning issues. You can get the chaos in your mind under control. If you wire toxic thoughts in, you can wire them out. You can overcome feelings of rejection and hurt. Forgiveness is not the battle you think it is. You don't have to worry about things that are out of your control. You don't have to fear that if a condition runs in your family, that you're going to get it. You can balance your overthinking and overanalyzing mind. You can overcome and control depression and anxiety. Some scientists are showing you can even control and overcome OCD, schizophrenia. You don't have to keep digging into the past to get free from it. You can be happy and fulfilled with peace regardless of your circumstance. If you noticed, all of these statements have the you can do this, you can remove toxic thoughts, you can overcome, you can win, you can be victorious, you can be happy, you can live a life that is fulfilled. Sometimes when we hit the boredom of each day and going through your day in and out, the same thing over and over again, we get stuck in a rut. And that's what God showed me today. We get stuck in this rut where we feel like nothing changes. We forget that we can change everything. We can change what we're thinking. We control our mind. We have control over what we think, what we do. So you can change your current situation. You can change your current condition, whatever circumstance you're going through. Even if you can't change that, you can change everything that's in here. You can become positive. You can become happy amid the storm. All you have to do is put in the work. Put in the work. Do the reading. Practice what, for example, if you're doing something like what I'm doing here in the Switch on the Brain, and you're following the 5-step sequence of gathering the thoughts and deepening your reflection in that toxic thought or that thought that you want to change, revisiting what you've written, revisiting those thoughts that you want to change. And if you go through those steps, it's putting in the work and it's going to yield its harvest. But it's all about getting it done. I don't want to go to the gym right now. I don't want to have to go and put my body through pain. But I know that the result of that, putting my body through the pain, is going to be great. I know I'm going to come out of there fired up. I know I'm going to come out of there feeling great. I know I'm going to be happy. As soon as I do that, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to come home. I'm going to be happy to fold my clothes. And it leads me to this one thing. Give yourself the opportunity to dwell in God. And that's one thing that I kept telling myself. I'm going to dwell in God even when I'm washing the dishes and it's boring. That's going to be my moment of dwelling with God. That's going to be my opportunity to talk to God. While I'm folding clothes, that's going to be my moment to dwell in God and talk to God and pray or just have a conversation with God, asking questions. Dwell in the Lord. And it doesn't have to be meaning that you have to pick up a Bible and start reading the scriptures, although that is extremely helpful. But I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys a little bit about what I wrote because I feel that it will be helpful toward you and your journey. You can find joy in the things that you do by changing your perspective. For example, today, I really didn't want to cook breakfast, but I'm like, you know what? Instead of saying, I don't want to cook breakfast, I changed that and I say, wow, God, thank you so much because I get to cook breakfast for my children. It's a gift. So now every morning I'm going to practice that habit of saying, oh my gosh, I get to cook breakfast today. I get to cook for my children. Yesterday, I was folding clothes at night and I was folding my husband's clothes. And I'm like, oh my God, he has so much clothes. It's a full bag of clothes. And I'm here thinking, oh my gosh, I really don't want to get through this whole bag of clothes. So you know what I did? I went ahead and started folding clothes and I started saying to myself, wow, thank you, Lord, for my husband. I bless who he is. I bless his clothes. I bless his mind. Take care of him, guide him. And I started using that moment, that moment of, that's part of my mundane, like part of the mundane, right? Something that I do constantly, but I use that moment to bless. I use that moment to uplift even myself at that moment because I was like, I really don't want to do this. But I'm like, you know what? No, it is good. Thank you for giving me my husband. Thank you for changing him. Thank you for molding him. Thank you for all the work that he does. It gives you a chance to appreciate the little things. Try it out and let me know how that goes. Another thing that I found extremely helpful was when I wash dishes especially, I tend to focus, and I realized this because I started writing after I was washing dishes, and it was just like in a Post-it, right? And I started noticing that when I'm washing dishes, I'm looking outside, and I have trees in my backyard. So I just start looking at the trees and I started looking how they move. And I start desiring this desire to just go outside and do something adventurous. It always comes up. I want to be, I want to live an adventurous life. I want to be somewhere exotic. I want to be, and I want, and I want, and I want. So dwelling in the I want, although those are beautiful dreams, I'm dwelling in the things that I don't have. So I am focusing on the lack. Today, as I was washing dishes again after we had lunch, I'm like, you know what? No. God, I am thankful for my home. I'm thankful for everything that you give me. I use that moment to combat that thought with, you know what? Thank you, God. Thank you because I get to live, this life. I get to be with my kids every day. So it's kind of like that, going back to that gratitude and dwelling in God. And in dwelling in God and just speaking to him, I am getting myself out of that state of sadness or anxiety, which is amazing. Sometimes I sound like a crazy person and sometimes I feel alone. because I'm like, oh my God, am I the only one that does this? Like, even for like the dumbest things, like, God, thank you for this notebook, the curriculum, the books that you have helped me get for my children, for me to give them the best education I can give them at home. It's just, it becomes, it just becomes part of, I guess, my daily speech. And what we speak is powerful. What are the words that you're constantly speaking to yourself every day? What is it that you're telling yourself every day? Start journaling, start asking yourself, what am I telling myself? Buy a little notebook on, the Dollar Tree, and start recording some thoughts. Use your phone, a notepad, a notepad app on your phone. Start recording things that come to your mind, and just start taking inventory of all the things and how you're speaking to yourself, because we can be so toxic. Like, I can be so toxic because I go down the rabbit hole of like toxic thoughts and the things that I don't have, the things that I wish I had. And we need to remove ourselves from thinking in the future. What do I mean by that? I'm constantly thinking about what I want to have in the future, and that doesn't allow me to actually enjoy my present. Why? Why is this important? Because what you have right now is probably what you've prayed for in the past. You probably have prayed for what you have right now, and you're not enjoying it because you're thinking in terms of future wants, future desires, what you want your future life to look like. So I urge you today, focus on the beautiful things that you have right now. What have you prayed for in the past that you now have? What is the cure over the exhaustion that you feel over the mundane and the boring day-to-day tasks? It's dwelling in God. Do something that always brings you back to the knowledge of God, His love, the peace that is found in Him, and most importantly, your purpose. Your purpose is the one thing that should light you up. Walking in your purpose will help you combat those feelings of boredom that you have, the feelings of, it's just the same thing over and over again. Do something new. You are in control. Make the changes that you want to see. Adopt hobbies that are going to bring you joy and that are going to give you life. They're going to make you feel alive again. So right now, start moving, start praying, and start dwelling in God. I hope this was helpful. God bless.